Welcome to the Swimming from Home talk show. I'm here with Nathan Adrian. So Nathan, I guess first off, can you kind of take me through your last couple weeks, just kind of how this coronavirus quarantine period escalated for you personally, where you were at, how it's affected you so far?
Yeah, so I was in Colorado Springs since Des Moines. We went straight there. So we got about a week of good training in, and then that's when stuff started getting a little crazy in the US.
Hmm.
Living in the Bay Area, we were one of the first, if not the first, to receive the shelter in place order.
Hmm.
And that would have happened, um, I think, like on a Monday. And that was when like groundbreaking crazy news was happening each and every single day. So Monday there was this big shelter in place order. Tuesday, other places got more and more restrictive and the cases started climbing. And
Hmm.
then by Wednesday, that's when stuff started getting a little strange at the Olympic Training Center. Colorado Springs had a bunch of cases, so I decided that it was time to go home. And then by the time I got to the airport, Dave actually sent a text to the group saying, "Hey, OTC has been closed by the governor. Get a flight." So I was just about an hour or two ahead of those guys. I was at the airport, just trying to get back home. More than anything, I was concerned about getting stuck in Colorado and getting quarantined there. So I just want to get back home, get back to Oakland,
Hmm.
so I could kind of shelter in place in my normal life here.
Yeah, definitely. And what has that shelter in place in your normal life looked like for you so far? I guess contrast to your normal routine.
Completely different. Completely different. It actually ends up being a whole lot of Zoom and Skype calls.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed? I mean, I guess along with the rest of the world right now, my wife's working from home. She's on Zoom probably, 6 to 7 hours out of the working day.
Oh
It's
wow.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm kind of joining in on that bandwagon a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm also like rolling around in the grass outside, trying to get my workouts in. Doing the normal stuff that we're doing on turf,
Mhm.
our crawls and our, whatever else we do on the turf, jumps and stuff.
Mhm.
Just doing it out back, kind of looking like a weirdo, but I don't really care. Um, so, yeah, I mean, and that's it. Just every day has been like pretty different. So I haven't really settled into a routine quite yet, right? We only have
Yeah.
really, since the Olympics were postponed. I mean, that's when it was like, okay, pressure's off to try to find a pool, try to train, try to go, world class times in practice all the time.
Yeah.
Um, Now we can actually focus on health and what's important, and making sure that we're managing this thing properly.
Yeah. Did What was your initial reaction to that Olympic postponement?
It was about time. I mean, it was pretty obvious that that was the right decision for several days before they made the decision. And it just, those last couple of days were, I mean, quite frankly, they were kind of annoying because those were the hardest days to try to find like pool space. Will and I had to heat up the pool up in San Rafael, so we could try to swim in a 25 yard, 3.5 foot deep, no gutter pool.
Yeah.
Like that's not quite Olympic caliber training, but it's 25 yards. It's more than a lot of people have.
Yeah. Are you able to swim like today or yesterday?
No, more out of design than anything. I mean, the pool's still probably like 75. It's cold, but I could swim there.
Okay.
um, but because the Olympics has been postponed, I think the prudent thing to do right now is take a little bit of a break,
Hmm.
take a little bit of time off, and for just so we're clear, like time off and break doesn't mean like sit on the couch, binge Netflix, and get fat. It's like I just stay active in other ways, whether
Yeah.
it be like body weight stuff, or I just got a little TRX setup that I need to install in the garage so I can do some of that stuff. Making sure that I'm still staying plenty active.
Hmm.
But the Olympic trials is probably it's looking like it's like what, 14 months away now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some time. So it'll be all right.
Yeah. Um, I know you've been staying active in other ways besides physically. You had a pretty big push for a relief campaign for the coronavirus. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, absolutely. So the Athletes for COVID-19 Relief Fund, um, I just decided that, hey, we should donate a signed suit to the winner of the raffle. And what happens is, if you donate at least $25, you're entered in this raffle. And it just kind of started to grow. Kind of put out a call, hey, if anybody wants to throw in an item to add to this basket to make the prize cooler, please feel free. Either send me a message or comment on my Instagram. And I got all sorts of comments and messages, and I've been meaning to take stock. I promise I will in the next day or two, of exactly what everything is. But there's up to about 25 items now. A lot of them are signed caps, signed suits, some of the really cool stuff, at least for me being a late 80s baby. Summer Sanders donated a original Figure It Out board game. Yeah, that her agent had dug up and found and gave to her. So I think that's one of the really cool things in there. I think Natalie, Elizabeth, and Caitlin all threw in autographed books, which is more than anything, it just makes me feel cool because I know like 3 authors. And yeah, I mean, there's even guys like Kyle Chalmers from halfway around the world donated a signed racing suit. I mean, this really is, it'll probably be overwhelming for whoever ends up getting the prize. Watch like a 15-year-old kid like get a prize, and their parents get this massive box and be like, "What is this?" But we can let the eventual winner pick and choose anything that they don't want. I'm sure the Swimming Hall of Fame Museum would probably appreciate some of this awesome stuff that we have.
Yeah. So did you start this initiative?
No, I did not. I jumped on. I can't pretend like I started it.
Gotcha. And how were you made aware of it?
So someone at Octagon, I think, is closely involved with it. So they kind of spread the word, hey, some athletes are doing this. Would you be willing to donate something? So, absolutely was happy to do so.
Yeah. Nice. So you've been in the Bay Area a week, 10 days now, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What day is it today? Yeah, yeah, 8 days, 8 days.
Okay, nice. How do you feel just mentally, not even from an athletic perspective, but just from a human perspective, how do you feel like you've adapted to this new, stay-at-home lifestyle so far?
I'm still adapting. Definitely still adapting. I think honestly, like my emotional and mental like strain and stress probably peaked right before the announcement of the games getting delayed. If I'm being totally honest, after that, the games are delayed. Okay, I can kind of set that to the side, compartmentalize that one. I guarantee you, Dave has a plan. Dave Durden. He's going to manage this and manage it well. So I have all the faith in the world in him to do that. Now I can focus on kind of setting up my shelter-in-place life and lifestyle here while we have to do it. So I'm doing good. I'm sleeping plenty at night. I mean, I don't have any 6 a.m. morning practices to wake up for.
Yeah. How have you been spending your days aside from, when you're doing your workouts to stay fit?
Like I said, I mean, it's a lot of Zoom calls. If we can manage it, trying to get up to the AC Swim Club and make sure that place is spick and span for the eventual opening of it, whenever that may be. And I mean, that's basically it. It's crazy. The days actually end up going a lot quicker than than they should. Oh, you know what? The other day I even had like a Zoom meeting that was a Dynasty Fantasy Football owners meeting. So it's almost like finding a way to hang out with friends, discuss fantasy football and our rule changes for the upcoming season.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree with you that the days have gone by quicker than I would have expected. It's
I mean, especially for you, you're a digital content creator. Like, look at, I mean, you pivoted and probably have more work now because you have access to everybody,
yeah.
uh, instead of just at whatever meet we're at. I mean, this is crazy, especially for people like you.
Yeah, I certainly have been able to. I feel very grateful and really lucky to be able to continue to do my job pretty much at full capacity. Minus the fact that there's no swimming happening.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good so far. I know for me, like daily goal setting in general has changed. I'm not an athlete, but I still have like long-term goals and short-term goals. And I know kind of probably for you as an athlete, the long-term goals are, you can't really put a lot of thought into them at the moment, because so much is uncertain. Do you feel like this has changed how you have been making short-term goals? It just like waking up day to day and saying, all right, this is what I want to accomplish.
Yeah, actually, that's funny you say that. Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things that I've been working on just through this period of time is my little notebook here. Just trying to write down something I want to do on time the next day, and then do it. And then something I've also been working on is if I write something down and commit to doing it, and I don't want to do it, trying to acknowledge the fact that I don't want to do it, but then doing it anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's a healthy way for my mind to operate and my mind to operate efficiently. So that's one of the things that I've been working on. Instead of like letting my mind get all jumbled up. I don't feel like doing this. I can just put it off till later. Like, what if I do it now? I'll just get it over with. And then like my mind's just occupied with this whole thought process behind deciding whether I want to do the laundry at 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. Right, and that's just such a waste of mental energy. It's like just write it down in the book, do laundry at 3, acknowledge it sucks and that you would rather nap at 3 o'clock, but do it anyway, and then be done with it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. What do you feel that acknowledging that piece of acknowledging you don't want to do it adds to that?
I think every thought in your head wants to be acknowledged. We're getting a little like theoretical here, but every thought in your head wants to be acknowledged, and this actually manifests itself in practice too. This set sucks, like, and I'm still going to do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of sets that are like that. Not every set is like get up on the blocks and dive fast race stuff. There's a lot of other things going on. We all know that. And to pretend like I want to be here every day and no matter what, and like there's nowhere else I would rather be right now. I think that works for so long, but I think deep down inside in your subconscious, you're lying to yourself that, hey, there are certain days that when it's like 39 degrees and rainy in Berkeley, that I would probably rather be, training on a beach in Mexico or something like that. Right. So to acknowledge it is to just give that thought a little bit of, again, acknowledgement, and then it can kind of relax and just fall in the back of your head. And then you can focus on doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I really like that.
It's worth a shot. Give it a try.
Yeah, seriously. So with all this time, or maybe lack of time that you've had, does this have you reflected at all on the past, on what's to come? Just kind of have you thought about your operations in a different way, or kind of looked back and been able to learn how you might move forward differently?
Huh? No. I guess I've sort of been I mean, out of a necessity, it's almost like I've been sort of required to operate very much in the present,
Hmm.
um, especially up until that IOC decision.
Yeah.
Just figuring out how I'm going to settle into my routine, what my routine is going to look like, how I'm going to manage to get food on the table without exposing myself, more than I want to in terms of to other people. Um, like I usually go to the grocery store every 2, 3 days. I like just taking my little lap around the outside of the grocery store, getting a bunch of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, picking up anything else that I may need, and then just coming back home and then being like, oh, even if I say, oh crap, I forgot this, that, or the other, it's like no big deal. I'm going to go back to the grocery store in 2 days anyway, so it's totally
Yeah.
fine. Now it's more like, well, I don't necessarily want to go to the grocery store a ton, and when I do go, I want to make sure that it's like one of the lower volume times, so I just don't, not surrounded by a ton of people. So in that sense, life has changed, and I have to think more about my grocery store runs.
What has your diet changed at all through through necessity?
You know what? I never realized this, but I'm a stress eater, and I never had been before.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm stressed all the time, right? Like it's Olympic trials, it's Olympics. Like I am stressed, no doubt, but like not like I guess just that my like desire for like sweet foods or whatever, or like overeating is just like short circuited by like the fact that I'm trying to swim fast. Um, so I didn't realize that, and I'm not a fact that I'm proud of because I always thought that I had it under control. It didn't. I wasn't a stress eater, but it turns out I am.
What do you stress eat? Do you have a favorite thing?
At the Olympic Training Center, usually I'm really good at not having ice cream, but this go around, I was eating up that ice cream with the with the caramel sauce a lot more than I should have. When it comes to being at home, actually, that's something that I purposefully don't buy is too much sweet food because I know I will eat it if I have it too near to me.
Yeah.
So when I do get that craving, I mean, it's kind of lame, but I end up like eating like fruits and vegetables or whatever, but something sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you picked up any hobbies or any projects around the house or personal projects that you've, with the time at home?
Not yet, not yet. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to assemble my little home gym, especially when that comes, as many of us are.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna, I was not on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being handy, one being like, not at all, like hire a person to come in and I'm like, I'm like a 3 or 4.
Uh-huh.
So I do have like a stud finder and stuff. I'm gonna have to find some studs in the ceiling to hang up my little TRX.
Gotcha. Gotcha. How is Ash living? How's your cat doing?
Ash is not used to having us home during the day. I don't know if you could hear her earlier, but she was meowing about.
Okay.
Um, she's used to sleeping all day because we're not really like home, or if I'm home, like I'm napping and then just getting ready for my next practice.
Yeah.
So I think we're kind of changing her circadian rhythms a little bit, um, because if we force her to be out during the day, that means she's a little bit less insane and running around in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And that would be helpful for both of us when it comes to sleeping.
Nice. Well, cool. Any closing thoughts you've got?
I don't think so. I think that's good.
Awesome. Well, Nathan, as always, thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, thank you, man.